Hi everyone, I'm Preeti Sundar from ECE department now going to talk on the topic inflation. What is inflation? Inflation occurs when the price of services and goods go up and value of money declines. Inflation is rise in prices, also defined as the declining of purchasing power over time. In other words, supply of money has grown too large. According to this theory, money's value is subjected to law of supply and demand. As supply grows, the value goes down. Now let us talk about the types of inflation. There are many types of inflation. There is creeping inflation, walking inflation, galloping inflation, repressed inflation, hyperinflation, and stagflation. In the upcoming slides, we will talk in detail about the all different types of inflation. Now, let us talk about the types of inflation on the basis of speed and its intensity. The first type of inflation is creeping inflation. As the name suggests, it is a slow form of inflation. So creeping inflation is when the price rise is 3% or lower and is scheduled to rise in all coming years. The second type of inflation on this category is walking inflation. As this name suggests, it is a much faster than the creeping inflation. But this type of inflation is beneficiary for the economy as it promotes demand among consumers. The third type is galloping inflation. This inflation is between 3 to 10% a year. This is harmful to the economy. Suppliers cannot keep up the value of supply drive among people. The last inflation on this type is hyperinflation. This inflation rises to 10% and more and is absolute havoc to the economy. Money loses its value very fast. Economy becomes unstable, government loses its credibility, and investors avoid the country to invest for its future plans. Now, let us talk about the inflation based on the causes of it. So the first thing is currency inflation. Currency inflation is caused by excessive printing of currency notes. The second type is credit inflation. This occurs when commercial bank sanctions loans and advances to people in large numbers when the economy needs it. This situation leads to rising in the price level. The third type is deficit-induced inflation. When the expenditure exceeds the revenue, the budget of the government reflects a deficit. To meet the gap, the government may ask central bank to print additional money. Any price rise during this period is known as deficit-induced inflation. The fourth type is demand pull inflation. An increase in demand over available input leads to this type of inflation and leads to rise in price. The last inflation in this type is cost push inflation. Inflation may arise from overall increase in the cost of production. The cost of production arises from an increase in prices of raw material, wages, etc. Now, up to now, we have seen what is inflation and what are the different types of inflation on the basis of speed and intensity and also on the basis of causes. Now, let us discuss about the pros and cons of inflation. Yeah. So, even though inflation causes destruction to the economy, there are also some a little pros which it adds to the economy. So, while discussing the pros of inflation, we can say that it enables the growth. As we have mentioned in the previous types of inflation, the walking inflation and the creeping inflation, it improves the demand over consumers in the economy. So it actually it directly enabling growth to the economy. It also allows the adjustment of wages among the workers. It also allows to the adjustment of prices. So now let us discuss about the consequences of the inflation. Cons of inflation. It creates uncertainty and lowers the investment. It leads to lower growth and instability. So if when inflation occurs, the investors from other country will think twice before investing into our country. So this lowers the total growth of the country, total growth of the economy of our country, and it leads to instability. It reduces the international competitiveness and it leads to recession. We all know that many IT companies are putting layoffs to their companies, and they are leaving people unemployed. So unemployment increases due to this inflation, and maybe within 2 or 3 years this recession will become a major issue in our country. So this inflation is the major cause for recession, and the value of savings will be lessened due to this recession, as the value of price is getting lower day by day. The value of our savings is also getting lower. So in the period of 2 or 3 years, our savings will be of no value. It is really a big problem which is going to occur in our society. So these are the pros and cons and types of inflation that we have discussed. So I hope you all understand about the inflation. Thank you.